Hello everyone, this is That Zoo, and welcome to my new series of videos since the long absence. If you can't tell by the title and the game that's on the screen right now, I'm going to be playing Mario Golf. But not just, well, Mario Golf on the 64 more specifically. The Game Boy Color version is also named just Mario Golf, but I digress. But we're not just playing Mario Golf, we're going to do a challenge run, as I explained previously in my back video, essentially. We all know that people like to do Plum challenges in this game. Well, maybe not everybody. Plum is the weakest character in the game. She has a 208 drive, but she hits straight, and I think at a medium height, and she has the greatest meat area and control in the game. So even though she's weak, she still controls the ball very well. But we can go further. I wanted to do a greater challenge. So, I'm going to do a level 1 Sherry challenge using the Sherry character from the Game Boy Color game, importing her at level 1. What I plan on doing is I'm going to do a tournament on every course, trying to win gold, match play against everybody, which I'll explain once we start I'll explain how I'll do that once we start match play, and I'll do ring shot on every course, and I'll do maybe for fun a speed golf on every course to see how fast I can do with level 1 Sherry. Now the reason why I'm doing level 1 Sherry is because even though Plum is the weakest character in the game, she's not the worst. So I decided to step it up a bit, take this little extra challenge into my hands. Now, I'm going to cut away to the Game Boy Color game to explain why I'm deciding to use level 1 Sherry as opposed to any of the other 3 custom characters. Cut away to the Game Boy Color game. Okay, and here we are in the Game Boy Color, so I can show you the base stats of the other characters and why I picked Sherry as opposed to the other 3. So let's go in the create a character here. I'm using my Game Boy Advance SP because of the backlight. It would be really hard to get it on a Game Boy Advance. So I'll show you Sherry's first. So you gotta pick female, then the girl on the right. This is Sherry. And handedness doesn't really matter, but I'm gonna be using right hand. Okay, these are her base stats. 200-yard drive, -1 height, straight shot, +3 meat area, and +3 control. So while she doesn't hit very hard, she has a lower height, hits straight, and has pretty good control. But when you're only hitting 200 yards, you can only do so much. Now let's show the other female character. This is Azalea. And again, let's pick right. If you pick... Okay, Azalea has a 204 drive, -1 height, -1 fade, +3 meat area, and +2 control. While she doesn't have as much control as Sherry, and she hits a fade, she can hit slightly harder at 204 yards. While 4 yards doesn't seem like it could make a difference, well, you're going to see that, how much of a difference 4 yards can make. And it's going to be like that for the other characters too. So let's go to the male side. This is Kid. Okay, let's pick right. Okay, Kid has a 202-yard drive, -2 height, 1 draw, +2 meat area, and +1 control. As you can see, Kid doesn't really control as well as Sherry, but again, he has that +2 yards to drive, and his height's a little lower. Which means his ball can get around easier. I think it's not affected much by wind, I want to say. And his shot hits a draw, which is the same as Azalea, except Azalea hits a 1 fade, he hits a 1 draw. So again, 2 yards may not seem like a lot, but sometimes you'll wish you had those extra 2 yards. And finally, we have Joe over here. Joe's my favorite. Joe's my personal favorite, because he's like 90s disco guy. You may notice Joe hits the hardest out of all these characters at 205. He has -2 height, 2 draw, +2 meat area, and +2 control. Now, these are pretty decent starting stats, because because if you want to play for speed, you want a low shot. And while +2 meat area and +2 control isn't great, he starts with the highest power out of everybody, which means you have to invest less in power. And since you're going to ignore fade and draw anyway, you might as well just leave that as is. You have to invest less points in the fade and draw. And since Joe's shot is naturally lower, you can spend less points making Joe's shot lower. Again, while his meat area control isn't the greatest, you can invest a little bit of points in this. Personally, I think Joe is the best character to pick, but some people will argue Kid, and I can see that. But you may notice we're using Sherry because she only hits 200 yards, as opposed to everybody else. Let me show her stats again. Again, power is kind of everything in Mario Golf. Sure, being able to hit the ball in the first place. Camera. Okay, being able to hit the ball in the first place would be good. Just sometimes you just need power, and at these low levels, Sherry hits the weakest, and thus she's at level 1. She is the hardest to play as, which is why I'll be using her throughout this whole thing. I'm going to be doing. Some people with the base game like to do a Plum challenge. Plum, she's the weakest character in the game at 208 yards, but she has excellent control, hits straight, excellent meat area. But she hits 208 yards, and again, that 8-yard difference is a lot. So this is why we'll be using Sherry, and this will probably prove a little bit more of a challenge than Plum. We'll see. Okay, now back to the main game. Okay, so does that explain everything for you? Okay, good. So let's get this party started, shall we? Level 1 Sherry. Okay, so for this first video here, I'm just... Ooh, I can pick the color? Neat. I knew I could pick the color of all these other characters, but I didn't think you could do that for the Game Boy Color characters. Neat. I'm gonna go with green, because I like green. So for this first video, I'm doing tournament first on each of the courses, so that way you get a preview of all the courses before I do match plays and ring shots, because those probably won't show the whole course unless match play goes to sudden death. But we'll deal with that when we deal with that. So the first course here is Toad Highlands, which is called the Toad Tournament, so let's go. Now I'm assuming, since you guys are looking up a challenge run, that you know how the game works on a basic level, but I'll explain it a little bit anyway. The standard 3-click button system, you press the button to start the shot, you press the button to set the power, and you press the button to set impact point. You have the camera controls. R button jumps to where you're going to land. C buttons are for fine camera control. B button is switch shot mode. You may notice you get 6 power shots. You get 3 every 9 holes. So on an 18-hole course, you get 6. If you play front or back 9, you get 3. Now, even though it says 6, if you get a perfect shot, which is full power and perfect impact, you get to keep your power shot. So even though it says 6, you can potentially have way more than 6 power shots. Hey, you can even use a power shot every shot if you wanted to. If you hold down the Z button or the L button, you get to set the impact point of where you want to hit the ball. It'll help guide the ball's movement in the air a little bit. You can also do it while the shot's going off. Either or, which makes you feel better. And the D-pad you can use for fine movements. Like the joystick is for large movements, the D-pad you can use for fine movements. And, of course, start, pause of the game. So you can see in the top left the hole number, how many yards you are to the hole, and how high or low you are compared to the hole. Top right's the win, ranges from 0 to 21. Of course, 21 being strong. And the bottom right's your lie. The 2 numbers down there are the percent range you can be when you hit the ball. So 98 to 100% on the tee, which means whatever I swing, it'll be 98% to 100% of whatever I swung. So usually tee shots go where you want them to go generally, unless you really screw up. Okay, so I guess I should shut up now. I've been talking for 2 minutes now, so I guess let's fire off, shall we? Now, you may notice Sherry's drive is only 200 yards, so a lot of holes are going to come down to RNG whether I'll make them or not. So I want to try to conserve those if I can. Play it safe if I don't need to use them. Since I got a good tailwind, I don't really need to use a power shot on this hole to get to the green in 2. decent shot. And, going uphill, 98 100, 14 meters. I'll do a foolish swing with the 4-iron here. That should get me close to the hole. Ooh, a little bit over, but that's cool. That's cool. Now on the putting surface, you have short, medium, long. You can switch between them. What I didn't show is that when you're within 60 yards of the hole, you can go into a special approach mode, which limits your clubs to 60 yards, all of them. So you can approach with a driver if you want to. But yeah. You got 30, 100, 200 feet, and it's only 2 clicks as opposed to 3 clicks. So you set your power, but since there's no impact when you're putting, you just do 2 clicks. I mean, to me, I think it'd be kind of funny if you could duff putting. But that's just me. I mean, I don't need to make this harder on myself than it already is, I guess. I mean, the good thing is that Toad Highlands is the easiest course, so I should have the easiest time on this course. Hopefully. Got a strong tailwind going downhill. Let's do this. Full charge 4-iron. The top spin. That should get me there. I think I clubbed down one too many. Well, I gave myself a pretty hard putt. Clubbed down one too many. I mean, looks fairly flat at the very least. That's one thing of Mario Golf 64 is that it's kind of hard to tell if it's leaning left or right sometimes. But I think this looks pretty good. I just about had it. It's a little bit more to the right. But a par is decent. I think the cutoff for this... I don't know what the cutoff score is exactly to get gold, but it shouldn't be too hard on the first course. It's the first course after all. They can't make it too ridiculous. Okay, short par 3. Should be able to get there without any power shots if I don't need to. I don't know, it's something I noticed. I watched other people play as Sherry, like base level 1 Sherry, and they get the ray effect on their shot. I don't know why I get the lightning effect, but I think it's cool. Normally, Wario's the only character that gets the lightning effect on his ball, so it's neat that I have it on Sherry here. I think I took too much power off this shot. I wanted to take a little bit, but not that much. And I was compensating too much for wind. Oh well. Should be an easy putt. I say as I miss. Okay, good. If I say I miss, that means I'll get it. I mean, the game knows, man. You ever had those feelings where the game knows you're listening? Or just knows or something and it just aims to screw you over? Yeah, I try to avoid that as much as I can. I don't want to jinx myself. So let's use our first power shot and get a perfect swing. Now, if I had a tailwind, I could probably get to the green in 2 here. But being as the moment, I'm not going to be able to get there, so might as well conserve the power shot and just play safe on the fairway here. I mean, I could have used it anyway because I got a perfect shot, but I want to conserve the shots in case I need them for later. Okay, going steep uphill. I'll take a little bit off. That should get close. Yeah, nice on, as the game says. Now, I actually got inspired to do this because I've been watching Mario Golf speedruns lately. Well, I suck. I've been watching Mario Golf speedruns lately, and the one person I watched did a proof of concept one with level 1 Sherry, any percent courses, and I figured, this might make for an interesting challenge. So I decided, hey, let's do the whole game of Sherry, level 1. So here I am. The characters in this game say here I am too. Yeah, I think the person I was watching was Metal Yoshi Pro Gamer, if you want to go check him out. I know him for Mario Golf speedruns at least. He might do other things. It's a strong headwind. I think I'll be fine with a full juice 2-iron here. Full juice 2-iron should get me there. Nice. Yuki. I'm gonna go to the right a little bit. Don't want to hit too hard, but want to give it a little oomph. Make sure it gets there. Doing good. Now, if you notice on the leaderboards that some of the names on the leaderboards are references to people from other games. Like, most of it's from Mario 64, but there's some from Zelda, Star Fox, and stuff, too. Like, you see Fox, Dory from Mario 64, Sheik. And some of these characters are from the game, and some of these are first names of people from... People that worked at Nintendo at the time. Like Ken, or Kobe. Who's Darunia? I want to say I know who Darunia... Oh yeah, the big Goron guy. Yeah, the chief of the Gorons. Don't mind me, I'm just being dumb. Okay, doing good so far. Be cool if I get an eagle or something with Sherry here. But I don't think it's gonna happen. Wicket down here. Wicket downhill. Wicket tailwind. I think this will do it. Full juice, 8 iron. Should be fine. Probably should have clubbed up a little bit, but oh well. I'm pretty close. Let's see. It's going to go to the right a little bit, so it's aimed this way. A little bit more than half. And there we go. Level 1 Sherry's putting in some work here. Now, I like Mario Golf is pretty much the first golf game I played as a kid, so I like this one a lot. Like, sorry, had to focus there for a second. Like, I didn't play Hot Shots for the first time until 2004 with Hot Shots Golf 3. And I like Hot Shots Golf. I just like golf games in general a lot. But since this is my first one, I guess I'm kind of partial to Mario Golf on the 64. I don't know. It plays solid. It's solid golf. It's a solid game. And I hit that way too short. Should have clubbed up. Yeah, a little bit buried in the ice cream here. Yeah, I call it ice cream. The bunker looks like ice cream to me. It's a little bit buried in the ice cream. Overhit it way too much. But better to hit it over than under from there. I mean, it looks flat, but the game's lied to me before. Whoa. See, it went to the right a little bit. Good thing I hit it as hard as I did, or I probably would have veered off just enough to not make it. Okay. I could potentially make this in 2. Depends on how I hit this. Depends on how I hit these shots, because while I don't have a tailwind, it's helping me a little bit. Now, I don't think I'm going to make this hole in 2. But I'm going to get pretty darn close. Aim over here since I'm being pushed to the left quite a bit. There we go. Lightning. Okay, pretty flat. Gonna get pushed to the left quite a bit. Take off a little bit of power. Maybe a little bit more. That's why I intentionally mishit the impact point, so I can take off a little bit more power. Man, that did not go to the left as much as I thought it would. I guess the clubs don't get affected by the wind as much, even if it's going high in the air. Putting in this game's usually better than approaching, I think, on the most part. I would take a putting if I can anytime. So let's see if we can sink this. Nope, didn't aim far enough to the right. Oh well, easy par. It's my fault for messing up the approach shot. That was a bit dumb of me. I'm doing good so far. Not too far behind the leader. We're reining in a headwind. This one might take this might be a little bit. This might be cutting it close to get to the green in 2. This is what I mean. That RNG will play a big part in whether you'll actually get to where you need to go with Sherry here. Come on, full juice. Full juice. Get there. Well, I'm putting at least. See, I did 2 perfect shots, and I barely got to the green in 2. This is what we're dealing with, folks. Okay, it's raining, so I gotta give it some more juice. I almost didn't give it enough juice. Alright. Halfway home, and we're in the top. We caught up to the leaders, and it's at the halfway point, so things are looking good so far. Okay, raining and a small and southwesterly wind. Bit of a headwind, but shouldn't cause too much problems. I say as I land in the rough. Okay, let's club up a couple times. should be good. With the rain and the headwind, this should be enough. Full juice. And that still wasn't enough. Huh. I thought I compensated enough. Oh well, should be an easy par. It's a good thing the cutoff on this course is easy. I haven't played this game in a while, so doing stroke play on this first course is helping me get back in the groove a little bit. Okay. Let's not miss. Let's try to make at least the first course bogey-free. That's my goal here. Bogey-free first tournament. Okay. Ooh, this is a strong headwind. Good thing this is a fairly short par 4. The strong headwind might make approaching the green a little bit tricky, though. So I gotta play it by ear. Or by sight, either or. Okay, it's gonna push me way to the left. And it's set 94 to 80, 98 should be perfect for a full juice. So let's see here. Let's give it some backspin. Yeah, I want a full juice, but that works too. May have needed to do that. Yeah, I need a full juice there. Or at least not put backspin on it. Let's get close to the hole. Make it an easy putt. We're close-ish. Should still be fairly easy. I hit it way too hard. Well, there goes my hopes and dreams of a bogey-free round. Because I oopsed. I'm good at this game. I'm really good at this game. We're still tied for first. So, except the cutoff's probably pretty easy. Now, if I had a tailwind, I could probably make the green in 2 here. But seeing as I don't have a tailwind, probably not making the green in 2 here. Although I might. Oh, I got 94 and 98. I got bad lie, so I'm not gonna make it. If I had perfect lie, I may have been able to make it. But since I got a bad lie, I wasn't going to be able to make it. Let's play it safe. This is puttable. Yeah, this is totally puttable. Don't try this at home, kids. This is not a smart idea. I'm not a smart person. I hit that way too hard, apparently. Okey-dokey. Come on, let's bring home a birdie. Man, I'm bad at this. And this is why this is the first course here. Get all the jitters out. I have a little room for error. Still have plenty of holes to go. And the AI is just going down. Just have to beat the first place I am. Doesn't matter how bad I do, as long as I beat them. Okay, so it's raining. I'm going uphill on a small tailwind. Let's do a little less than full juice 3 wood with backspin. Some of these calculations are a little tricky. I should have full juiced it. Oh well. Hindsight's 20/20. It would have been cool if that was a chip-in. Would have been really cool. Oh well, easy par. Still in contention for the World Cup here. The World Cup of Golf. Which I think is the Ryder Cup? I don't know. Some type of big trophy thing. And a lightning effect makes total sense in the rain, at least. That says I got a tailwind, should be able to make this fine. Just gotta compensate for the rain. Here. Between the rain and the tailwind, this should be fine. Yeah, that was pretty good, if I do say so myself. Should slip right in there. There we go, it's the first birdie in a while. Pulling away. Okay, 3 more holes to go. 4 more holes to go. Because I know how to count good. Okay, this headwind's gonna suck because this might prevent me from making the green in 2. Thanks, RNG. Appreciate it. It's gonna be close, but I think I can make the green in 2. Just barely, though. Okay. I think a power 4 wood's gonna make it. Oh, wait. Should do power 3 wood just in case. Backspin. Because I keep coming up short, I noticed a lot of the times. It's a good thing I use power 3 instead of power 4. Good call on my part. Should glide right in. Good. Yeah, I think the cutoff on this course is 0, if I want to say, but hopefully it's... Because if the cutoff on this course would be 0, then that means the cutoffs on the other courses are just going to be that much harder. I mean, I hope it's less than 0. I mean, I hope it's more than 0, because golf, you want the low score, not the high score. Ooh, I got really bad lie. Sherry, because Sherry doesn't have quite perfect meat area, she gets the pixel for meat area on bare ground fairway. So I might as well play it safe here. Got bad lie. If I had a strong tailwind, I could probably make the green in 2 here. But as it is, we need to play it safe. So, we don't need to do anything fancy, even though I would like to. Okay, going uphill quite a bit. Ooh. Come on, Sherry, make it. Hit high enough to make it. Good. Wasn't sure she was going to make it for a second. I didn't want to take any chances, so I full juiced it. Okey-dokey. Should be able to go right in. Okay, I almost moved too much to the left. These greens are hard to read sometimes. Okay, unless I really screw up these last 2 holes, should be able to get the gold just fine. Okay, uphill a little bit. It's raining. Let's just do a power 2. Should get me there. Pretty good position. Not quite. Should have needed a little bit more. Okay, come on, chip in. Chip in, baby. Is it? Is it? Oh yeah! That's what I'm looking for. Hopefully we'll be getting more of those. Could always use more chip-ins. Okay. Okay, last hole. It's raining. Could be a little sketchy on getting the green in 2. I'd like to end with -9. That'd be an average birdie on half the holes. So I'd like to be able to do that, but it's going to be kind of hard to get to the green in 2 here. Okay, power driver. Let's backspin. Get there. Yeah, I got RNG screwed there. Couldn't really do much about that, because power 3 wasn't going to get there either. Now let's clean up with a par. Or chip in. Oh, that would have been cool. But we did it. -8 with the weakest character in the game. Well, you can't make. So yeah, the cutoff was 0. So that's good. Hopefully the cutoffs in these next courses will be easier. Well, won't be as ridiculous. I'm not expecting it though. The gold trophy. So that's the tournament on Toad Highlands. When we come back, we'll start tackling match play. See you guys then.